Okay, so you've set your goal, you've set a clear goal, you've figured out your routine, which days you're gonna go to the gym. You've picked a workout split that you like. Now is the time to actually go into the workout itself, go into how to train effectively so that you can get the best results in the shortest amount of time possible. Right? Reason why we're gonna do this video is because I see often that people, they've been training for 3 months, 6 months, a year, but eventually they cap out. They hit a plateau where they stop seeing as much progress. You're gonna see progress very easily in the beginning, but as you go, that progress is gonna slowly and slowly slow down. But there's a very clear reason for this that I'm gonna cover in this video. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. General idea of what your workout should look like is as goes. You should have 3 to 5 exercises per big muscle group. So that's your chest, your back, and your legs. What that means is that you should be doing between 3 to 5 exercises for your chest, for your back, and for your legs. I personally like to overdo it a bit. I go 5 to 7, but 3 to 5 is more than enough. Ideally, aim for 4 to 5. 3 is a little bit, unless you're really, really short on time, go for 4 or 5. You should do 3 exercises for shoulders so that you hit every single head of your shoulder. If you don't know this, your shoulder is actually 3 muscles. So you have your front delt, which is this part. You have your side delt, which is this, and then you have your rear delt, which is that. Okay? So you're gonna do 1 exercise for each. And then for the smaller muscle groups like your biceps, your triceps, your abs, or your forearms, 2 to 3 exercises are more than enough. For biceps, do 2 to 3, triceps 2 to 3, abs, honestly, you only need 2. I'll get into that probably in another video or maybe this one. And then for forearms, you just need 1 to 2, even 1 is okay. Now the sets and the reps, like I said in my previous video, I am going to do a full video of each of my workout days, so that you know exactly how I'm training, how many sets I'm doing, how many reps I'm doing, my form, I'm going to comment on it and all of that. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. But general rule, aim for 2 to 3 sets per exercise. But what's really, really important is that you push your last set to failure. Failure, what it means, simply put, is that at the end of it, you do not have another rep left. So let's say if you're doing 3 sets, your first 2 sets should be at 80 to 90% because you still have another set. But your last set has to be very hard, very challenging, and it needs to go till failure. That is how you're going to see the most amount of progress. Because when you're doing, right, you should also aim for 8 to 12 reps. When you're doing, let's say, 8 to 12 reps, your muscle isn't actually growing until those last 2-3 reps where you're really pushing yourself. When you can do, let's say you can curl 20 pounds for 12 reps. You can do that all day, every day. Every time you go, if you just do that, your muscle is actually not going to grow. Your muscle grows by pushing itself. I'm not going to go into the science of it all. Maybe I will in another video. But this one, just want to make it short to the point. So just listen to me. Do exactly as I say. 8 to 12 reps each set. 2 to 3 sets per exercise. And then the number of exercises that I said per muscle group. How to actually train is where some people sometimes get confused. So when you first start out, because you're a beginner, everything is pushing yourself. But what you need to understand is that as you go, your body is going to get used to pushing itself. So internally, you're going to stop pushing yourself as much. And this happens to absolutely everyone who goes to the gym. Within 6 months or a year, they start hitting a plateau. They haven't moved up in weight in a month or months. And that happens for a very clear reason. That is because you stopped pushing yourself. You need to understand this. Every time you go to the gym, it needs to be hard, it needs to be uncomfortable, and it needs to be a challenge. At the end of your workout, if you can still do the whole workout again, you didn't work out hard enough. Like when I do a back day, at the end of it, I can't even do like 2-3 pull-ups. And even then, I still go for it. At the end of my back day, I just call it a burnout. I just do as many pull-ups as I can, even though I end up just doing 2 or 3. But that's because I have really pushed my muscles till failure. Like I said, this is going to seem super easy when you're a beginner, but as you go, you're going to see that you're going to start lacking effort. That's how I'll put it. So that's exactly why people get stuck on the same weight, because they actually stop pushing themselves as hard as they were. So again, this is super key. Your last set, give it your absolute all. Use a spotter. Okay, use a friend, a spotter, someone in the gym if needed, because that is really, really going to help push past failure. So because when you have a spotter, let's say you're doing a bench, you by yourself, let's say you can do 8. Maybe if you really, really push it till failure, you can get a 9th one. But if you have a spotter, then he can actually help you to just control the weight down. He can help you a bit on the way up so that you can get that 10th and 11th rep. Those 2 reps are going to be insane for muscle growth. Okay? When you're working out, you should be leaving no reps in the tank. Like your last 2-3 reps should look like, like you're making faces, the weight is barely moving. If your last rep is going up like this, you have more in you. I don't care if you're at 12, go. Go until you actually can do it like that. You should be making faces, you should be making noise, like you should be making some sounds, some grunts, whatever it is, right? Because you have to be pushing yourself. Alright, so I'm just going to jump in here for a quick second. I am going to make another video about recovery and all of that, but I just wanted to talk about your rest time because it is super, super important for you to see progress as well. Aim to rest 2 to 3 minutes between each set. But that being said, you can do more. Like if you do a really heavy set and you're actually tired, like rest for 4 or 5 minutes. Your rest should be yours, and take as much time as you need. Right? You should not be resting for less than 2 minutes. And the reason for that is because if you're pushing yourself as much as I'm telling you to do so, you are going to want to rest. Okay? If you can finish a set and then 30 seconds later you can jump into another one, then you didn't push the previous set hard enough. I'll tell you straight up. Okay? So take 2 to 3 minutes of rest, but more if you need. Don't go around 10, 15 minutes. Don't start just chatting everywhere, but take some rest, actually get all your energy back so that you can go all in on the next set. All right, keep watching. How the muscle actually grows is by progressive overload. If you don't know this, progressive overload, put simply, is that as you go, you up the weight or the reps, ideally both. Let me just clarify this. So let's say you just started and you're able to bicep curl 20 pounds, right? If you can do 20 pounds for 12 reps, up the weight, go to 30, and then maybe you're doing 8. The way your muscle grows is as follows. If you can do 12 with a weight, if you can do 12 with any given weight, up the weight until you can do only 8, work your way up back to 12. Once you hit 12 again on that weight, up the weight again. And that is exactly how it goes. It's a non-stop cycle. You up the weight, you lower the reps because you can't do as much until you can hit 10 to 12 again. You up the weight again, and as you go. And that is exactly how over time you can lift more weight and your muscles will grow. You're going to get stronger. Like I said, I am going to do full gym days. I wanted to make this short, simple, to the point. How to train effectively is you should absolutely be pushing yourself every time you're in the gym. Aim the number of exercises that I said, the number of sets, the number of reps. And side note, have coffee before your workouts. That 100-200 milligrams of caffeine. Don't abuse it. Okay, don't go taking 3 scoops of pre-workout. I personally don't even do pre-workout just because it's cancerous bullshit. Honestly, black coffee, honey, fruits, more than enough. But what I do is I take a double espresso before my workout. That's around 150 milligrams of caffeine. And that is going to be a huge, huge game changer. Okay, it's going to absolutely change your workout because when you go in there and you're absolutely dialed in, you're ready to push yourself, you have that energy in you, right? So that's just a side note. Drink coffee before your workouts. You're going to thank me later. But yeah, that's kind of the video that I wanted to make for you today. Just how to progressive overload, how many reps you should do, 8 to 12 reps, 2 to 3 sets. You can do 2 sets, if you're a little bit shorter on time, but I would highly recommend that you do 3. I've tried both. I've tried doing 2 sets, 3 sets, whatever. What's really, really important though is that you stick going to failure. Even if you're doing 2 sets, that means your second set should be to failure. Should be that you cannot do another rep. Okay, don't be embarrassed to make noise or faces in the gym. Okay, that's what you are there for. You are there to push yourself, you are there to challenge yourself. You should be uncomfortable. Okay? Obviously, this being said, don't be that guy that's just yelling in the gym for no reason. No one likes that guy. But it's very normal if at the end of your reps you're actually making some noises, maybe a little bit of, stuff like that. It's very normal. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video as well. I hope you learned something out of it. Tell me in the comments if there's something more specific you want me to cover. But in the coming video, we're going to talk about more about the different diets, what diet I think you should follow. And like I said, I'm going to do those videos of my actual full gym days so that you know exactly how my day goes, how my workout goes. Alright, we'll see you on the next one.